Welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about making fitness and wellness doable for busy women like you and me. Looking for healthy meal ideas, workout motivation, and good conversation? Don't worry, I got you, girl. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey, girl, hey, welcome to 2024. And another episode of Tia's Table. I'm Tia, a certified group fitness instructor, behavior change coach, and nutrition expert. I help women develop healthier habits that align with their health, wellness, and fitness goals. If you or someone you know is interested in developing new habits, or if you're interested in creating a healthy lifestyle for yourself, please reach out to me. I would love to see if we would be a good fit to work with one another. You can do that by emailing me at tiavfitness@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram at tiavfitness. I'm having such a great time coaching the ladies over in the app. Now that the new year has started, everyone has their motivation back, and it's just a great time over there. We had our first chat of the year. We had our first walk of the year on New Year's Day, but then we had our first conversation about developing really great habits yesterday, actually, and it was a lot of fun. So if you want in on that sense of community, the accountability, and all that goes on over in the app, reach out to me. I would love to get you set up for that. Listen, this is our first call. It's our first call of the year. First of all, it's on time. So round of applause for that. Second of all, I feel like I have a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. First, I just want to say, what's on my table right now isn't really much because we're coming off of the holiday season, right? So I've got to get back into my meal planning bag a little bit. Not that I ever got out of it, but when you have people visiting, you're eating out, you're doing all the things, and you kind of get off your little routine, by a smidge, and you got to get back into it. And re-entry can be hard, but it can be made easy when you have things just at the ready in your kitchen and in your pantry, like the two things I'm about to tell you about right now. The first thing that I want to tell you about are some basil Parmesan meatballs. Y'all already know where I found them, so we don't even need to get into it, but those things are amazing. They cook really quickly. You can cook them in the oven. You can put them in your air fryer. Girl, you can even microwave these chicken meatballs. Now, I wouldn't though. I wouldn't microwave them, but that's just me. I would pop them in the air fryer or cook them in the oven, maybe in big batches if, that's going to work better for you. And then you just warm them up in the microwave. But they're absolutely delicious. They're so moist. And if you remember from episodes ago in last season, I talked about how I used to make these chicken meatballs by hand, and I shared it on Instagram. And I think maybe I even put it in a newsletter, possibly, that I was making these chicken meatballs because they are high in protein. They taste really good, but my goodness, is it time consuming? So when I was in my favorite little place on Sunday and I spotted these basil Parmesan meatballs, I said, oh, you don't have to say anything to me. Take this $14 and Costco, get out of my face. I'm putting it in my cart and it's going home with me because I need the protein. I need it to taste good. I need it to be quick and easy to make. And I need things that are super versatile that, will just work with whatever sides I might have on hand. These are going to be really great. Of course, if you wanted to do some type of roll or sandwich, perfect for that. You can eat these with pasta. You could eat these with rice and veggies. You can eat them with a baked potato or sweet potato if that's your jam. They just go with everything and they're so good. And they have made my little meal prep life so easy this week. So that's the first thing on my list that I want to share. The second thing, because I don't think I've shared it here yet, sometimes, when you share things on multiple different platforms, you can't ever remember who you told what. It's kind of like when you have tea or you have things you want to share, right? You might tell your mom, you might tell a friend, you might tell your husband, you might tell whoever, and you can't remember who you told. So when you're going back to add to the story, you're like, did I tell you about so-and-so? That's how I feel when I come here and I tell y'all about food. I'm like, did I tell them or did I tell Instagram? Or was it Threads? Who was I talking to? Was it TikTok? I don't know. But let's just say this is the first time you're hearing about this. This is also a Costco find. I think you get 8 of them in a box, but it's like a pouch of lentils that taste like chili. Now, I sometimes get a little bit of a pushback when I talk about lentils because people talk about the texture or whatever. And I'm just like, y'all, beans are beans. Are they not? I don't know. The only bean that I won't eat, well, no, there are 2. I will not eat butter beans because I grew up eating them my whole life and I never liked them. And I just confessed that to my mom like recently, and it blows her mind to know that like I was eating them even though like I hated to see them coming. And she just thinks that's so funny. But yeah, I don't do butter beans and I don't do sweet peas. The little spear-shaped peas that they put in fried rice, they ruin a perfectly good fried rice with those. I don't like them. Do I eat edamame? Absolutely. All the time and all the ways it comes. Do I like sweet peas? No. That's just what it is. But people ask me that all the time. When I say I don't eat sweet peas, they're like, do you like edamame? I'm like, those 2 things are not the same. They're not the same. They are not the same. But anyway, these are lentils and they come in a pouch. It is like basically like a ready-to-go chili, but it's good for you. Not that chili is bad for you. Chili is good for you too, but this is like a good for you, easy to make, easy to eat thing. You literally open the pouch, you microwave it, I think for 90 seconds. You can put it over rice, which is how they have it on the box. And I've had it over rice and it's like absolutely amazing. You can put it on a baked potato. You can eat it alone, like as a chili. You can add like chicken or another protein to it if you wanted to, and just let the sauce season up whatever meat that you have. Like you can do so much with it and it's so absolutely delicious. Like it comes perfectly seasoned. You really don't have to do anything to it. And it's a great way to have a meal on the go, especially if you're back in the office. You can take it with you, heat it, eat it, and you're good to go. Now, I want to give the numbers for the things that I just told you guys about because I'm really encouraging everybody this year to make sure you are eating enough food. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. But the basil Parmesan chicken meatballs, they are 17 grams of protein in a serving. You get 4 meatballs in a serving, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're eating something with it, which you should be, you'll get full. Like we're looking to be content, not like overly stuffed, you know? And 1 serving is 160 calories. So obviously you're going to want to eat something with it. And then for the lentils, they are 290 calories per pouch. You get 11 grams of fat, 35 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fiber, which is like super important. And then you get 11 grams of protein, which is low. Which is, again, why I say, like, add a protein to it. Because meat doesn't come in the lentils. Like, there is no meat. It's all a plant-based protein, which is cool. But you probably want to add something to that if you are looking to reach certain goals throughout the day based on how you eat. So those are my 2 finds this week. You know, at some point, we'll probably move away from Costco. And I'll get back to sharing, like, regular recipes and meal ideas. But for now, girl, this is where I'm at. Girl, this is where I'm at. I'm in love with Costco. I be in there every weekend. If you need to know where I'm at, that's where I'm at. I'm strolling the aisles. I'm smiling. I'm happy. I've got my earbuds in. And I'm really just catching all the vibes and filling my cart until my heart is content. And then I check out. And then I come here and I tell you all about the things that I find that are worth anything, that taste really good. And so far, everything tastes great. Like I haven't had a bad pick yet that I can think of in this moment. So that's what's on my table. Let's get into our main reason for today's call. Because, you know, it's 2024, right? It's the year of more, I feel, right? I feel like at this point we have survived a pandemic, you know? We have survived. We have come out on the other side. I feel like we have all learned quite a bit about society and ourselves, what really means something to us, what we could care less about. And I feel like at this point, We are putting all of the pieces to the life puzzle together in a way that should hopefully be giving us more of the things that we love and the things we enjoy and how we want to experience life, right? And as it relates to our health, wellness, fitness journey, I wanted to talk about some things that we can leave in 2023 and some things that we should usher into 2024 if we are in fact looking for more on our fitness journey. I know you've seen the videos online where the ladies are like in their cute little outfits and they're walking and they're like out for 2023, in for 2024. This is that without the visual. I'm just like Mother. I'm just like Beyonce. We're going to catch this message with no visuals. So here we go. Out this year is low-calorie meals and under-eating. I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to bring it up repeatedly over and over again until we all get on the same page. But chances are, if you're not tracking your food, you probably are eating not enough, you're under-eating, or you're eating way too much, right? It's very rare for someone to not be tracking their food and they just so happen to be eating enough, right? You will find that if you are trying to eat really healthy, like most of us are, if you're not tracking your food, you're probably not eating enough. Like you're probably not getting enough carbs and then you're wondering why you're tired at 3 o'clock and you need a snack, right? You probably are working out and wondering why you're not seeing any results. And it's probably because you're not eating enough or you're overeating, because that happens too. When you overeat, you work out. And then you, not that you kill it, but you just maintain because you're overeating, right? We have got to get to a place where we are tracking our food, at least in the beginning stages, until we know which meals yield whatever the results are. And this phone call is only for the girls who are dialed in. If you're not tapped all the way in, girl, you can listen to me talk, and then maybe the end of this call when I start talking about the ratchet hot mess that's been on social media, maybe that part will be for you. But this part of the call is for the girls who are dialed in. If you have said 2024 is your year that you're really going to dig deep, you're really going to get the change, you're really going to get the results, and you're serious about it, you've decided to finally put yourself first and be serious about you, this part of the call, like, girl, I'm talking to you. You know how sometimes you're in church and you're like, oh, is that preacher talking to me? Like, oh, I feel like they're talking to me. Girl, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. And like I told them yesterday on our call in the app, you might notice a slight shift in my tone. I might sound, like a friend told me yesterday, lovingly firm, right? Lovingly firm. It's like I want to give you a big hug and a big squeeze. But I also want to say, girl, this is the year that we all get our collective shit together, right? Like we just need to, which leads me to the next thing. What we're leaving in 2023 is excuses. What we are ushering into 2024 is saying yes, choosing us, putting ourselves first. We are at the top, the number one priority. In your mind, in your life, you are the main character. Everyone else will serve as supporting cast. You lead from the front. The spotlight is on you. You are the moment. You are that girl. Hold your head up, girl, and act like it. So that means you don't make a million excuses as to why you aren't doing the things you say you want to do. Whether that's working out, eating well, taking that trip, buying yourself that gift, practicing whatever wellness habits you've decided you want to do for this year, whether that's reading more, going to the spa, getting a massage, getting a weekly pedicure, getting facials once a month, like whatever it is, girl, do it. And in order for you to do it and do it consistently, we have to stop making excuses. Now, just in case we're confused as to what an excuse might be, I'm going to share a couple of my favorites that make me roll my eyes. And then if you have ever said any of these things to yourself or to someone else, you'll know that that's self-sabotage, and we're not doing that in 2024, right? If you say to yourself, I'm tired, so I'm just going to do a stretch and call it a day, right? Is it okay to do that once in a while? Sure. But if you find that your workouts have become stretches at least 2 or 3 times a week, then girl, that is just an excuse. That's just something you're telling yourself to get out of working out. Or that is something that you might need to go get medical attention for. One of the two. And this is not me joking or trying to be funny. This is me being dead serious. Like if you find that you are holding that much soreness in your body, like seriously, or you're that fatigued, that might be something that you should seek help for outside of what we talk about here. If you say to yourself, well, girl, I don't need to go to the doctor, like it's not that serious, and that lets me know it's an excuse, okay, that you were just telling yourself because you really didn't want to work out whatever day that was that you had scheduled yourself to do it. And so many people want to know where consistency comes from, like, Tia, how are you so consistent? Tia, how do you do this? How do you do that? Girl, it's because I don't sleep on myself. I put myself first and I hold myself there. Above it all. Like I told them yesterday in the app, like, girl, put yourself on a pedestal and keep yourself there. And the second you feel like you're about to slip off of it, ask yourself why. Like, what is it that's happening that's making you now put yourself second? And if it's anything short of an emergency with someone that you gave birth to or someone that gave birth to you, I don't know if that's a big enough reason. Like, you literally would have to be like my parent or my child for me to be like, oh, let me give myself a break and let me insert this person's issues to the number one spot. And even that would be temporarily, because as problems and things do, they tend to work themselves out one way or the other. And then we get back to our regular routine, right? We've got to stop making excuses. If we find that we really want a certain level of results, but we want to stay in a comfort zone. Like people will tell me like, oh, I like going to my yoga class, or I like going to, I don't know what people try to do. They tell me, oh, I like going to this class or that class, or I've been doing this, And I'm like, okay, well then, how has that been working for you? Has doing what you've been doing, is that giving you results? The results that you want? And if the answer to that is no, if you haven't been getting any change based off of what you've been doing, then that is just something you're telling yourself. Like, oh, I just like doing, or I've been going to that. And it's fine if what you've been doing has you in a place that you're happy with, then girl, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're one of the people messaging me or asking me about how you can change, how you can get results, how you can, progress in your journey, then you're probably going to have to switch it up. And telling yourself that you just like doing whatever this other thing is, it's just something you tell yourself so you don't have to push yourself and make yourself uncomfortable. Let me just tell you, working out, I think, at the level that we probably all really should be, if body composition is something you care about, like changing how your body looks in any way, meaning loss of inches, loss of weight, more muscle, shedding body fat, any of that. If any of that sounds like something that you're interested in, I just want to be totally real with you. Not keeping it cute at all. Like, it's going to suck. Like, it's not the most fun. It's not the best. You will not look forward to doing that every day, right? But the more excuses you make as to why you're not doing, like, people will tell me, well, I don't like going to the gym. Or they're fine with going to the gym, but maybe they don't want to go over to the weight section, right? Which I get it. Going over there is intimidating. Like, it can be when you don't have a plan, or you don't feel like you know what the equipment does, you don't know what kind of body part it works out, and you're new to it, it is intimidating until it's not. And sometimes I feel like we have to remind ourselves that at some point, Everything is intimidating when it's new. Think about it. Your first day at a new job can feel a little uncomfortable until you get into a groove, you get into a flow, you get to know your coworkers, you figure out what's expected of you every day, and then, your emotions kind of mellow out. Things become less intimidating and you kind of find your place within that place, right? It's the same with going to the gym. When you walk in there, it's intimidating. It can be, right? Some of the ways that you can kind of relieve yourself of any type of gym anxiety that you might have is, number one, what always helps me is knowing that, this is the one place where I can come and I truly don't have to talk to anybody. Like, no one at the gym, believe it or not, no one at the gym knows what I do for a living. Therefore, no one's walking up to me asking me any health, wellness, or fitness questions. I get to just put in my headphones and I just get to work out in peace. Sure, there is a level of community at my gym, so familiar faces will wave to me or they'll say like, "Hey Tia, how's it going? Like, Happy New Year. Aren't you glad the kids are back in school?" It's that cute little small talk that doesn't mean anything. And then everybody goes back to their workout. It's amazing. It is the one place and one of the only times during the day where I can go and be at one with my own thoughts. I can listen to my music. I can think about whatever I want to think about, and I can just focus on me and what I am doing. It is glorious, right? When you get to the gym, if you feel like you don't know where to go or what to do, ask the people behind the front desk. That is what they are getting paid to do. They are getting paid to answer your questions, to show you around, give you a tour. There are trainers there that can show you the proper way to use different pieces of machines. You don't have to go at it completely alone. And then let me tell you something. If you are at the gym and you feel like an employee is not anywhere nearby or like whatever, this is when, and I've talked about this on the podcast before too, maybe like in the first season, possibly. But this is when being one of those people that always gives that smile, that smile that says, "Hey, you don't have to talk to me, but just, hey, I see you, you see me. Hey girl, hey, we're in here at the same time every day." Just being like a friendly or at least an outwardly friendly person never hurts, because if there is ever a time that you're gonna have to have someone come show you how to do something, or you have a question about something, you can walk up to people and say, "Hey, like, I'm so sorry to interrupt you." I mean, I would only do this with people who appear to be friendly. But when you walk up to somebody in the gym and you ask them how to do something, nothing feeds a gym goer's ego more than showing you how to do something. Let me tell you, anybody is going to be happy to show you the proper way to use a machine, what they believe to be the proper form. Like, they will be like, yeah, as long as you keep it cute and you keep it quick and you don't take up too much of their workout time, they will be more than happy to show you anything, right? So there's really no need for the gym anxiety. You slowly, gradually move around, try different pieces of equipment, and eventually you'll have like a full workout that you can go in there and do. And if you can't seem to do that, I'm about to give you one. So pull out your phone or something that you can take notes on, because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do when you go in the gym. Okay? You go in there and you warm up, right? Warm up in any way you like. You can do that by doing some mobility exercises. You can do that by jump roping. I personally like to get on the elliptical or the treadmill, and I do it for, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes until I feel like super, super warm, until I do feel like a little misty. I've got a little bit of a glow going and I know I'm sweating. When I'm done warming up, I get off of the cardio machine and then I head to the weight section, right? Now, in most gyms, they'll probably have two different areas for weights. One area is like the racked weight where you have to load the weight onto the thing yourself. And then the other section is like the assisted machines where you move the peg down to the weight, that you want to work with. you sit in a chair or you lay on something and the machine kind of assists you through the workout. Both of them will get you a great workout, right? I normally use the machines. I rarely ever go back to where they actually like rack the weight. I really only do that when I work out with my personal trainer. Why? Because I'm not trying to break nails at the gym, right? I'm not trying to look for weights because all of that takes up time. And you literally get the same pump as you do on the machines. So I stay on the machines. I move the pegs to the weights that I know I'm supposed to be doing. I do my workout. I'm in and out of there in like an hour and 15 minutes. Tops. When you're at the gym, some people like to do focused body parts. So you'll hear people talk about leg day, arm day, back day, core, right? Or cardio. You can go about your workouts like that. You can split it up like I do. My trainer has me do upper body day, lower body day, and I switch back and forth. And on the 5th day of the week, I focus solely like on cardio and core, right? Easy peasy. And then I take Saturdays and Sundays off. If you're a person who has decided like, no, Tia, it's not an excuse. I really just don't want to go to the gym. Like, girl, that's cool too. So then what we have to discuss is home workouts, right? And when you're at home, I feel as if a lot more can get in the way of you and the time you've designated for your workout. If you have a family, if you have pets like I do, I have all of the above. I have literally every piece of caution tape, every ounce of home traffic. I joke to my family all the time that my commute to the gym in my basement is longer than the commute to the actual gym outside of my home. Sometimes it takes me a full 30 minutes to make it to the basement because I'm going to get stopped by every traffic child. I'm going to get stopped by every husband who can't find something. All of it. And by traffic child, I mean traffic light. That probably came out not the way I probably would have wanted it. And I don't edit this, so here we are. But I'm going to get stopped a million different times. Dogs will probably need to be walked. Somebody's going to be barking. Somebody is going to be hungry. It's like when everyone sees my face, they are like little moths to a flame. And they want to ask me a question or request something from me. And that is when I have to say to myself on my little pedestal that we already talked about, is this important? Does this need to stand in the way of the time I've already set aside for myself? Most of the time, the answer to that is no. I would be willing to say that 99.9% of the time, the answer is no. And so I just push them out of my way and I go to the basement and I get my hour and 15 minutes of workout time in, right? Working at home is a challenge. It is a challenge. It can be tough. But if you have all of the right equipment, especially if you have all of the right equipment and you have everything you need, then girl, is no excuse. Like there's no reason because you can work out in whatever you want. Like you, if you're working out at home, you don't even have to worry about what you're going to put on. You can literally wear whatever you're going to want, whatever you find. You can put it on. You can go to wherever your gym is and you can work out. So what, like Cardi B says, then what is the reason as to why we're missing workouts if we don't even have to start our cars to get it in? Like what is the excuse? What are you going to say to me now in 2024? The only thing that stands in between you and the healthier lifestyle that you want, the habits that you're trying to develop, solely is you. I shared the girl from TikTok. Remember a couple months ago? I talked about how I came across this girl's TikTok video and she was reading everybody down and I sent that girl money to buy coffee because I was like, yes, boo, this is it. You're not telling the people no lies. Like truly, if you want more from 2024, you just have to want more for yourself. And at this point, I kind of feel like when people start tipping into my DMs, asking me questions about like working out, Tia, help me. First, I'm going to reroute you to my app. That's number one in 2024. I'm all for the kikis. I'm all for the laughs. Send me the funny memes, the funny videos, all that. Welcome that all day long in my DMs. If you're new to the community and you're just trying to figure out how to get connected, definitely come knock on the door of my DMs and I'd be, happy to help you. I'll be waiting for you, If you message me at this point, in our relationship, if you message me asking me like specific questions about working out, eating right, like, Tia, what should I do? I'm gonna be like, girl, first you can sign up for my app because that's where I help people. And then number two, you got to take yourself more seriously. And that's nothing that I can give to you, unfortunately. I wish I could. I can tell you how to do things. I can suggest things. I can recommend things. But step number one, and I told this to somebody on Threads the other day, step number one is being ready. And being ready is not something that anybody can give to you. You have to give that to yourself. And to get ready, you've got to prioritize yourself and put yourself at number one. You have to put yourself up on that pedestal and look down on all of the problems beneath you. And just like Issa Rae, you have to say, that's not my problem. That problem, not mine. I'm about to go get this workout in, though, and I'm about to eat this real cute, pretty food that I just made. Because in 2024, I want more for me. And the only way that I'm going to get there is by taking myself more seriously. That is the secret to the sauce. Truly it is. There are no gimmicks. There's nothing trendy about it. Like if you think to yourself that you're about to spend money on a detox, or you're going to try a tea, or you're going to buy this influencer's program, which that's going to be the next one out for 2024, is flip-flopping to every trendy program that you see or every trendy thing that you see on Instagram. And in for 2024 is just sticking to what you've decided are the habits that you want to develop, right? When you set goals for yourself and you say you're going to try a certain program or you're going to try to develop certain habits, the worst thing that you can then go and do for yourself is to change like the seasons every time you see someone doing something on social media. I don't care if it's your favorite person. Girl, I don't even care if it's me. If you see me eating chicken and broccoli every time I post a picture and you see me, doing my own workout program, if what I'm doing has nothing to do with the goals or what you want for your life, don't feel moved to start doing it. Stay true to whatever feels right for you. Stay true to whatever you have said your goals are going to be. Now, if your goals are to do some serious things and you're looking for some serious change, then yes, you have to take yourself more seriously and you might have to get a little bit uncomfortable and do some other things. Never do a tea or a detox though. Like my personal opinion on that will never waver and it'll never change. Your body was designed to detoxify itself. If you're eating the right things, if you're drinking enough water, and if you're sweating, your body will rid itself of waste. And if it's not, again, go to a doctor. Don't take something or drink something that you saw somebody on the internet talking about. Like, don't do, because girl, they're getting paid to do that and show you that. They're getting paid to tell you that, which means it may or may not work for your body. It may or may not agree with your system. It may or may not be good for you. We don't know. But what we do know is if you just stick to the basics, yes, it will be a low and slow kind of cook, right? But those normally produce the most tender, juiciest pieces of meat we've had the privilege to eat. Does it not? Don't we love something that's been cooked on the grill for like 12 hours? When it's been smoked just right? That is what your fitness journey is like. If you do it the right way, yes, it will take some time, but in the end, you will be so glad you didn't put that thing in a pressure cooker. You will be so glad. Think about it that way. When you're thinking about what you want from this year, think about the habits, think about the goals, think about your actions on a daily basis, because those three things have to be together. Those are the pieces to the puzzle. You have to develop the habits. You have to add action to the habits in order to reach your goals. If you give yourself way too many excuses all throughout the year, it'll be Christmas time in 2024, and people will be saying to me the same thing they said to me this year, like, oh, well, maybe next year. And I just wonder how many next years do people think we have? Like, I'm not trying to bring about an unexpected expiration date for anybody or anything like that. But at some point, one of these years has got to be the one. One of these years has got to be the one, and I kind of feel like this needs to be it. Like, I want that. I want us to all touch and agree that this year is, in fact, it truly is the one. Like, we want more for ourselves in 2024. We know exactly what we need to do to get to the more. We just have to actually do it and stop making excuses about it. And I think the other thing that I kind of wanted to just touch on here really briefly, because the majority of us are women. And as women, sometimes we tend to care about what other people think, be it the people that live in your house, be it, people that don't live in your house, friends, families, coworkers, whomever. Once you start taking yourself seriously and you start putting yourself first, I can guarantee you that some people will see it and they will be inspired by it. Those are your people. There will be people who see it and they will not like it. Girl, those are not your people. And we don't even have to get into all the ins and outs of that. That's just as simple as it is. The people who encourage you and support you, love on those people more. The people who poke fun, make it harder for you, try to sabotage your efforts, we can leave them in 2023 if you haven't not done so already. Or at least leave them out of your fitness journey. I'm not telling y'all to break up with nobody because I don't need that kind of karma on my life. But girl, if they're not in support of you, then just stop talking to them about your fitness journey, your wellness journey altogether. Because one thing a person is going to do is either celebrate you or they're going to, I don't really even like using the word hate, or they're going to hate on what you're doing. And the spectrum of hate is far and wide, but let's just safely assume that for the most part, they're just going to be like, so-and-so is doing so-and-so, or she's on a diet or whatever. And I am, because when summertime comes in 2024, I want to take my body to the beach. I don't want to be saying this is the body that the beach is going to get. Hello. Let's get into the personal workout report. Right now, I feel like I'm just now starting to physically see where I have burned some more fat, and that's very, very exciting. That's progress. I have lost, I think, an additional 2 pounds. So when I weighed myself at the beginning of the year, which was only like 8 days ago, but when I weighed myself at the beginning of the year, my scale was doing a teeter-totter between 159.8 and 160 pounds, and it finally stopped on 160, which is fine. Like, girl, I don't even care. Don't care, but I just needed a number so that I can say I had a starting number for the beginning of the year. So I'm right at 160 even, and I'm just now starting to see like my arms are coming into shape. Like when I was jump roping at the gym this morning, like I could see muscle definition in my arms. I can see the muscle definition in my upper back. My lower back doesn't have like the roll that it used to have. That's really lovely. So I feel like I'm starting to now actually see my body sculpt and form. Mind you, and I like to keep throwing this out, that it took all of 2023 for me to get to this point. I started working out with my trainer January 9th of 2023. tomorrow, when you hear this episode, it will be January 9th, right? And I'm just now seeing those results. It is a low and slow burn. It is a low and slow burn, right? Everybody's transformation won't be overnight. It won't be one of those 4-month, before and afters that we like to see online. For some of us, it's going to be low and slow. And that's okay. As long as we continue to burn and we cook, and when we step out, we're happy about it. That's all that matters. So I'm just now getting to that place. And like I said before, when I go to the gym, I do cardio, then I hit the weights. But I am also, and this is really the only thing differently that I've been doing, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to share it every time, just in case this is the first time you're listening to the podcast, is that I have been walking for an hour every day. Every day I walk for an hour at a speed of 3.7 on an incline of 2, but I walk for an hour. Now, of course, there are other treadmill workouts out there like the 12-3-30 that was super popular last year. You can increase your speed and your incline if you don't have 60 minutes. But what I found was if I can carve out an hour of my time during the day to walk, I would much rather dedicate the hour and not be on as high of an incline, than to try to shove more intensity into a shorter amount of time. So I love that. And that hour of time normally gets me about 8,000 steps. So yeah, I feel like that just works for me. So I feel like that increase in steps, I think has really been a game changer, which is why I'm always telling everybody to walk. I'm like, if you have the space, especially if you're a workout at home woman, if you have the space, invest in a treadmill or one of those new walking pads that are better for space. Like if you're short on space, I think they have walking pads that fold. I think some of them can slide under a bed. I think some of them fit in a closet. They have all kinds out there. Look into those. And if you are working out at home, don't let being at home be the reason or the excuse you give for not getting enough cardio, because the steps make a difference. They just do. So that's what I'm doing right now. Oh, and I still jump rope between machines. So when I'm at the gym, when it's time for me to move to a different machine, when I get to my next piece of equipment that I'm going to use, I jump rope for a minute before I start that particular exercise. And I think that also just keeps my heart rate a little high while I'm doing my strength training, which is a good thing, because we need that heart rate to stay high so we can burn. So that's it for my personal workout report. Let's talk about some of the random things that have been going on the internet. Obviously, we have to talk about Katt Williams and Shannon Sharpe. And before we even talk about it, I just want to say that my opinion on all of this will probably be biased, because Katt Williams has always been my favorite comedian. Him and Mike Epps have me in tears. Love their style of comedy. I think they're so funny. Growing up, of course, the big names were the Steve Harveys, the Cedric the Entertainers, the D.L. Hugleys, Chris Rock. Now, I'm not even going to hold you. When Chris Rock had his special when I was in college, I can't think of which one it was. Was it Bigger and Blacker? Was that the name of his special? I don't know. But Chris Rock had a huge breakout special when I was in college, somewhere in the early 2000s. And I thought that was really funny. So I was like, oh yeah, that's cute. That's funny. Do I think every Chris Rock special that I've seen has made me bend over and laugh? No. Kings of Comedy definitely had its funny moments. Bernie Mac, definitely the funniest person on Kings of Comedy. And everybody else, it's they gave you the little chuckle laughs. But as far as laughing hard, to the point where I'm like concerned about my lashes, definitely Bernie Mac. And I didn't even have lashes back then, but you see what I'm saying. Definitely Bernie Mac was like incredibly funny. Who else? Kevin Hart was funny when he first came out too. And then I feel like he kind of got away from his funny, but then his most recent special that is on the Peacock app, I think, was more of his like earlier style of comedy. And it actually was funny. Was it Cat Williams funny to me? No. But was it like Kevin Hart, how he used to be funny? Absolutely. So take all of that with what I'm going to say about the Cat Williams, Shannon Sharpe interview. I personally think Cat Williams is funny just being himself. Like, just being himself. Like when he did that radio interview here in Atlanta with Frank Ski and Wanda, like that was hilarious. Like, and he didn't even initiate that conversation. And it was just hilarious. So when you get him sitting down with somebody like Shannon Sharpe, who has been doing, like sports talk shows for a very long time at this point. But now he has like his Club Shay Shay. If you don't follow Club Shay Shay, let me tell you, if you're on TikTok, if you don't take away anything else from this whole interview with Cat Williams, if you follow Club Shay Shay on TikTok, it'll give you everything you need from his show. And his show is good. Like he interviews very like famous people that we know. And one of the best things about Club Shay Shay might be the Nightcap, which is his show with Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, the other former football player. They have a show that they do together. And when I mean to tell you that show is hilarious, they don't interview anybody. It's just the two of them talking about a show Shannon may have done earlier in the week or like pop culture things. They talk a lot about dating and relationships, but not in like that icky way that men tend to do once they get a microphone. It's more of in like a funny way. Chad is in a committed relationship. He's about to get married. He seems very much so like in love with this woman, and he kind of speaks from that place. Shannon Sharpe is single mainly because that man got 50-11 rules for women, and like it's a lot. But they're funny. And one of the funniest things about their show together is when Shannon Sharpe says something funny, Ocho Cinco has a silent laugh that makes him look like a Muppet Baby puppet. And he does this like wiggle and lean until he falls, and he like falls out of the camera, like he falls out of the frame. And it is hilarious. If you have not seen it, please go on TikTok and check them out. Because I get such a good laugh out of just watching Ocho Cinco laugh at Shannon Sharpe. Which brings us back to Cat Williams, because of course they had a lot to say about this particular interview. I think Shannon got a lot of kickback about it from other famous people. I think I just swallowed dust. I think he got a lot of kickback from other people. I know we've all seen them post responses to some of the stuff that Cat talked about, just to kind of like defend themselves. And to that, I say, y'all's responses don't really clear your names like all that much. You notice Steve Harvey hasn't responded at all, and that's probably because Marjorie is not going to let him. I'm pretty sure somebody told Steve he was probably above reproach, and he probably feels like he's going to take the Beyonce route and just not even respond to any of this foolishness. And I guess like that's fine too, because the receipts are what they are. And as a kid who grew up watching Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and then I was a teenager when I watched the Steve Harvey show that used to come on. What was that? Was it either the CW or the WB? I can't remember. But the Steve Harvey show, when it came out, I guess when you're young, you don't see like how something can be imitating something else. Like, I don't think I put that together as a young person. But now that they point it out, it's kind of like, oh yeah, oh my gosh, that's the same show. Like that is insane. So Cat Williams talking about people stealing jokes and then it being videos out there of the jokes being stolen. Him talking about his upbringing was absolutely fascinating. How he left his home when he was 13. I guess because him and his daddy were having a hard time, like, coexisting in the same house. Because, if you live in this house, you're going to live by my rules, yada, yada, yada. Him moving to Florida, him being homeless, but then also he said he was stealing radios and making about $2,000 a day. So I'm thinking, well, could you not get a motel? But I'm a rock with you though, Cat, because you're my fave. So I'm gonna take everything you say and I'm just gonna assume there was no way, right? Then he talked about moving to Oklahoma. He eventually gets into comedy because he meets the right people. Someone sees this gift in him, and then things kind of just take off for him from there. And I guess something that we don't necessarily get to be privy to as like fans of all these different people is that the comedy world apparently is very small. They go to all the same clubs. And when he referenced that documentary on comedy, I had seen that documentary because, I love me a good documentary. I'd seen the documentary that he talks about. And I guess the receipts from that do show where Cedric the Entertainer, I guess, did come through whatever comedy club that was. People are debating online about whether or not Cedric actually performed there or if he was just like there. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like a lot of them ran into each other in the same social circles, and that some of them end up being, like included in all of the things, and some of them kind of get pushed out, or you're kind of kept on like the outside looking in. Now, when I think about that, I'm like, it's interesting to me that I don't think I've ever, outside of when they had that big like comedy reunion, and I can't remember if that was Def Jam or like the comic. Was it the comic? No, I don't think it was the Comic View reunion. Y'all know what reunion I'm talking about, where all the funny people that has ever existed or that went through, was it Comedy Jam or Comic View? I don't know. But all of them were at one place at one time, right? It was like Martin Lawrence, Bill Bellamy. I want to say Cat Williams was there, Dave Chappelle, like literally every funny person was there. I don't think I realized this at the time, but I'm like, oh, you never really do see or hear people like Dave Chappelle talking about being influenced by who we probably consider to be like the uncles of the comedy world. Like, you never hear them say like, oh, I looked up to Steve Harvey or Cedric the Entertainer. Like, you don't hear anybody say that. They always, like, they definitely give Martin Lawrence his props. They definitely give Eddie Murphy his props. They definitely talk about, who is it? Oh my gosh, Mike Epps was supposed to play him in a movie. My brain just went dead. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh man, what is his name? It's gonna kill me. But they definitely give other people their flowers. You never hear anybody give the two of them credit. They definitely give Bernie Mac his flowers, right? But they never give the two of them any. And I had to sit there and think for a while. I'm like, man, yeah, even these new kids that are coming up, like a lot of the kids you see on Wild 'N Out that are funny, I don't think I've ever heard any of them reference Steve Harvey or Cedric the Entertainer as like their role models in comedy. And at this point, like after this Shannon Sharpe Cat Williams interview, I wonder if that is because, oh my gosh, maybe they weren't nice people, you guys, and you kind of hate to have to assume that. And for some reason, I don't think Cedric the Entertainer is like a bad person. Like, I don't think he was doing any like shisty things, maybe other than stealing jokes. But I don't think I don't think he might be as grimy as Kat was trying to make him out to be. Do I believe the stuff about Steve Harvey? I gotta say, I think I gotta believe it. I'm sorry, Lori. I'm sorry. But girl, it's not looking too good for your daddy. I think he might be, a little, yeah. I think the story about him and Bernie Mac in the Oceans movie, I definitely think that's true because it's not the first time I know I've heard that. I've heard people talk about that before, about how he tried to get the role in that movie. Which, I mean, I couldn't see that. I feel like Bernie Mac was the perfect choice for that movie. I don't think I could see Steve Harvey in that. But then people keep saying, well, you ain't never seen Steve Harvey in a movie. And I'm like, that's not true. He was definitely in that movie with Christina Milian and Nick Cannon. He played Nick Cannon's daddy. What was that movie called? Love Don't Cost a Thing or whatever it was, where Nick was like the nerd and Christina was the popular girl and they fake date so she could get her car fixed because she used her parents' car and broke it and she needed to get it fixed before they got back home. But then they end up really liking each other. But then by that time, Nick had become like an actual popular guy that the people at the school now respected and he liked. And of course, that all went to his head. And then Christina didn't like that. And at the end of the movie, do they end up together? I can't even remember that part, but you get the gist. That's kind of what happened. And Steve Harvey was definitely in that movie. And I also think, I want to say he was in a movie with Cedric the Entertainer. Why does some type of family reunion movie come to mind? But to Cat Williams' credit, he definitely plays like a country uncle in that movie, I think. And I think they were competing at the family reunion against one another. Or was that Martin Lawrence? I don't know. But y'all know what movie I'm talking about. So yeah, Steve has been in a couple things on the big screen. Maybe not many, maybe not anything that's got a cult following like Friday. I mean, Cat Williams has been in a lot of movies, and I feel like he's so good in everything that I've seen him in. But then again, I might be biased because I think he's naturally funny. And after this interview, for some reason, I thought to myself, you know what? He would be really good on Abbott Elementary. I don't know if Cat needs to be like a substitute teacher or a coach. I don't know if he needs to be a janitor or somebody in the cafeteria, an administrator. Like, I don't know what his role should be, but for some reason, I feel like he would be an amazing addition to Abbott Elementary, which happens to come back to TV on my birthday, February 7th. But I think he would be great on a show like that, where he's allowed to be funny, where the humor is kind of like that deadpan, dry kind of humor, but that it's obviously funny. He would be so good on that show, y'all. So good. So, if anybody knows anybody that works over there, tell them I said they should hire Cat, because he would be hilarious on that. But, that interview was well over 2 hours. It was almost 3. It was giving Titanic, but I feel like it was entertaining the entire time. And I think that speaks to how entertaining Cat is as a comedic personality. And he even said, like, during the interview, he was like, his first job is to be funny. So like when you see him, funny is what you're going to get, because that is what people expect from him. And I love that. I love that, because you don't necessarily get that from the comedians that he talked about in that interview. I think they try to come off as like these super, but maybe it's just because they're older now. I don't know, but they do come off as being like more like serious now. They try to be like smooth, like zaddies. And it's kind of like, you can be a zaddy, but you can still make me laugh too. And, the girls want to laugh, which I think is why Cat Williams ain't never had no lady problems that we know of. Although someone on social media did say that he dated Hazel E. Do y'all remember Hazel E. from Love and Hip Hop? Hollywood, I guess it's called. She just had a baby with somebody, but apparently people are saying she was once upon a time in a relationship with Cat Williams, and that Shannon Sharpe dropped the ball by not asking him about that. I mean, I don't know if that not discussing that had any kind of impact on the interview or not. One of the funniest things Kat said, that I'm going to start using in my everyday vernacular when I'm talking to people now, when he said, as a journalist, and then he finished that sentence, I said, oh, I'm going to have to start using that whenever I feel like I have done my due diligence to research a topic. As a journalist. Boom, boom, boom. I just love him so much, and I think he's so funny. Check that out if you haven't. And if you don't feel like sitting through the 3 hours, because, girl, it is a time commitment, get on TikTok and watch some of the summaries that people have done on TikTok that are also super, super funny. Congratulations to Shannon Sharpe, because after everything he went through over there with Skip, he deserves all of the flowers, all of the money, all of the attention, all of the accolades that he is receiving. His show was good before the Cat interview. It definitely was. It was a great show before, but to see him have this moment after everything he went through, because I used to also watch not Pardon the Interruption, Lord, that's Michael Wilbon, but I used to watch Undefeated with him and Skip, and after all of that, he deserves every single thing that he's getting right now. So congratulations to him. Congratulations are also in store for Halle Bailey, who has announced the birth of her baby boy, Halo, quite possibly the best kept non-secret in, girl, we knew. And she said we were desperate to find out. Like, in her caption, she called us desperate. Since y'all was so desperate, y'all was so thirsty, you wanted me to announce this pregnancy so bad. Here's my baby's hand, and here's a gold bracelet on my baby's wrist. Take this and go sit down somewhere. And I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she got to have the pregnancy that she wanted. She got to experience it without all of the hoopla, as she was out on press tours the entire time. And quite possibly her baby bump may have taken away from the films that she was trying to promote, because people would have been asking her all of the pregnancy questions. Y'all know they would have. So, you don't say that you're pregnant. You camouflage that bump to the best of your ability, and you go about your business. And then after your baby is here, you show everybody his hand and say, my baby is here. Now y'all leave me alone. And I love that for her. Congratulations to her and the baby's father. What is that boy's name? I don't know. It's letters. He has an alphabet name. But listen, while we're talking about men who really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, because the woman is the thing and she's the prize, Simone Biles and that husband of hers, they had my TikTok timeline in shambles. My thread timeline in complete and utter chaos over this man saying he didn't know who she was when they met. He said that he was the prize, that she chased him. She drove 45 minutes to see him the first time they hung out. And really, she had to scoop him. Like, she was the one with the game. Because, sir, let me stop you. Because even after all of this, I know I did not know you or know of you until you married her. I didn't know. I didn't know. But see, he is the result of someone somewhere, and this is not a bad thing, right? Because we should all raise our children to make them feel like they are the prize and they are the most important. But at some point, because I have sons, right? And we build them up. We call them our little kings, my prince, like, you go, boy, like, whatever, right? But at some point, when my children decide that they are going to start dating, and if they decide that they want to start taking out young ladies and all of that kind of stuff, in that moment, I am going to humble them and let them know, okay, now that you want to be out here doing things that men do, let me tell you, man, bruh, you ain't nothing. The girl is the prize. If you think that you are worth catching, or you think girls need to be out here chasing you, then you need to stay your little behind right at home. Okay? You need to stay home, because nobody told him that, like, the woman is the prize. And even now that they are married, he was bold enough to say that with a microphone in front of his face. Now, that's something he might have thought to himself, like, yeah, like Simone Biles scooped me, like okay, you can think that to yourself, but the fact that you weren't smart enough to know to keep that to yourself tells me everything I need to know about you. And Simone is only in her 20s. So we're going to give her grace. We're going to uplift her. We're going to remind her that she is, in fact, an Olympic goddess who has had whole moves named after her. The world probably still doesn't know her husband's name, and that's fine. He will always be Simone Biles' husband. I know he plays football, they say. I don't know what position he plays. I think he plays for the Green Bay Packers because I see her at the games. But again, I know what team you play for because I see her at your games. That's how I know. But I still couldn't tell you anything about your career, your stats, whether you're good, whether you're bad. Do you start or do you ride the bench? Like, girl, we don't know. We don't know. We just know that you're married to Simone Biles, who is the most decorated Olympian of our time. That's what we do know. We know she's been on a Wheaties box. We know that. We know she is an athlete. We know she gets covered on ESPN on the regular during the Olympic season, and even outside of the Olympic season. They're always following her with her training, you know. We know that. So, sir, it doesn't matter what you think or what you've hyped yourself up to believe. At the end of the day, you are Simone Biles' husband, and that's got to be enough for you. Might be the only win in life you get, because you might not win a Super Bowl. I don't know nothing about what you got going on over there. I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is still the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Is he? I feel like he doesn't even quarterback over there anymore. So see, I don't know. I just know that your chances of winning the Super Bowl are low. Not many people make it to the Super Bowl. And then when they do, only one team can win. And I don't think that's going to be your team. I don't ever hear nobody talking about the Green Bay Packers. And even when they do, sir, they're not talking about you. Unless they are talking about Simone Biles and her attendance at your game. So do with that what you will. Do with it what you will. The Golden Globes were last night, and there was a lot of focus on Taylor Swift. And I guess that's just what happens whenever she goes somewhere now. And that's fine. But amongst all of what was going on with her and those girls that always seem to keep some mess going, why doesn't anybody ever talk about that? Like, does that group of friends not tend to keep something going like all the time? Like, why is it so much drama amongst that group of girls with other girls? Like, are they not too old for that at this point? I don't know, because I don't know how old they are. But they were there. It was drama. But if you could, look past the drama that they were focusing on and actually pay attention to the awards, we had some pretty good winners last night. The show Succession that I talked about here on the podcast, they won some awards. Now, I loved Barbie, the movie. I did. I think the dress that Margot Robbie wore last night was super cute. It was like an ode to Superstar Barbie. Like, the dresses were similar. And I thought that was super cute. But I do feel like they got a made-up award. Like, I don't know I think this is the first year that they've given that award out. And I'm like, did they make that up just for Barbie? Because they knew Barbie wasn't going to get, like, the top honor of the night. So, like, they made up this one so they could give Barbie something, because they probably felt like they had to because of the box office smash that it was. And if we're being completely honest, was Barbie a super successful movie at the box office? Yes. Was it a good movie? Absolutely. Was it award-winning good? I mean, I don't know. And I hate to say that because I know it's a woman-led film, but I don't know if it was like award-winning good. You know what I'm saying? Like, normally when you think of movies that win awards, you think of like masterpieces. And I don't know. And I've seen Barbie several times because now it's on HBO Max. So you can watch it whenever you want to. I've seen Barbie several times. Every time I watch it or every time I have it playing in the background while I'm doing something else, I'm like, man, this is a good movie. Do I think it's like an award-winning masterpiece film? No. And I know it's a lot of people talking about that online today about how they feel like Barbie was robbed. And I'm like, no, Barbie was not robbed. That girl is still in her dream house living it up. She raked in billions of dollars. That girl was not robbed of a thing. I think we probably just have to get away from thinking that these awards are like tapped into like actual culture and like the beat of what people experience emotionally, because it's not like these awards are never a reflection of the things we actually enjoy when we sit down and pay to watch a movie. And I think once you start thinking about it that way, you can kind of let it go. I think they gave it to Oppenheimer, which I didn't see. Like, I didn't see Oppenheimer. So maybe that was like, a very good film. Maybe the cinematic photography was stunning. All of the stills of it that I saw made it look like one of those movies that they would have given an award to be quite honest. And I think Barbie probably was just too, hate to say it was probably just too girly for them. And they probably just couldn't get past that it was a movie for girls, which it was. And it was a very good movie for girls. I just don't know if it was like a cinematic masterpiece. But I think it is one of those movies that is like gonna have a cult following, or like it'll be one of those movies you watch over and over and over again in the same way that maybe you would watch, I don't know, like a Clueless. Clueless probably wasn't even nominated for anything when it came out, but it's a movie that if it's on, you'll watch it because you'll enjoy it. You like the way it makes you feel. You think it's funny. You think it's cute. And that's what I get from Barbie. I'll watch it over and over again, but it's not giving awards season. But they might give her something at the Oscars. They might give Margot something for her role as Barbie at the Oscars. I don't know. But yeah, if you get a chance to read about that online, like people are deep in their feelings about Barbie getting snubbed. Moving right along, today we are exactly 29 days out from my 40th birthday. And I'm always going to give a countdown because I care that much. 29 days out. I do know where I'll be going for my birthday. I do not know the when. And that is because I'm a mother and all of my children are in activities and things that run well past my birthday. Which is funny because I talk about, put yourself up, make yourself number one. But some stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to miss it. So my son is in basketball and my husband and I are the basketball coaches of his team. So we really can't miss the games in February because the season ends in February. And I'm like, it's probably a little tacky to miss the last game of the season so that I can go on a trip. That seems wrong to do. So I'm not going to do that. And I told my husband we can just wait until after the basketball season is over. My daughter has like a concert that she's in for orchestra in February. So I'm like, we at least need to stay in town until all of their concerts and shows and games are completely over. That way, when we do go on our trip, I can have like peace of mind about it. Because, I want to be able to go and like be at peace with it, knowing I've checked off all of my mommy boxes. So I don't know when, but I do know where, and I'm super excited about it. And I think what I'm probably going to do, I've never really been like a big birthday person. I've never been a person that's like, I'm going to celebrate my birthday all month, like birthday season, Aquarius stand up. Like I've never been that person. But I think, you only turn 40 once. I feel like 40 is a big milestone. I feel like it is a big life change and shift. And I feel like this year, like I said, we want more in 2024. So this year, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have birthday season. We actually do have plans the first weekend in February. My best friend and I, our birthdays are a week apart. And she's having her 40th birthday party, within my birthday season. So I'm going to go to her party and like celebrate her. That's going to be super fun and a great way for me to prepare myself for my own festivities as I roll throughout the month of February. And this year's a leap year, so we love that. So I get an extra day in my birthday season for my 40th. Like all of the things are lining up and I'm very excited about it. Truly, I am. So I can't wait to share more about maybe share more. I always say I'm going to share and then I'm not the best at that. And I suppose everybody can't be good at everything because I'm definitely not good at like recapping and sharing trips and like all that stuff. But of course, I'll talk to you guys about it here. I can definitely do that. And I'm excited to share my birthday season when it comes. I don't want to birthday y'all to death, but I do have 2 birthday headbands that I'm super excited about wearing because they're so cute. I did take it upon myself to get 2 Valentine's Day headbands from Target when I saw them in there because they were super cute. And I love a theme. I love a theme and I love a reason to dress up and be kind of like over the top about it. So I got some of those and I'm ready for February. That's why I say I got to do January right. We've got to get January off on a good note so that by the time February comes, like I'm cruising at that point and I can truly celebrate. Because what I didn't do during this semester break from school, and that's what our school district calls it. It is semester break, not to be confused with the winter break that happens in February. What I didn't do during this semester break was like really rest enough. I really feel like this Christmas season low key was like not my favorite. I did all the things, like I wrapped the gifts early. I didn't have to work as hard in that aspect, but it's almost like I never truly tapped into the Christmas spirit like all the way, even though I wore my pajamas, I baked all the things, like I did the stuff, but I just feel like my little insides never truly like warmed up all the way in time for Christmas. And then what they say, if you don't get on that Christmas train, girl, you'll miss it. Then Christmas was over and now my kids are back in school, which is a great thing. But I don't want that to be the case for my birthday. So birthday season, when it gets here, I want to be at a place where I'm in a nice groove, where my house is clean, where I can actually celebrate, kick back, relax, and just focus on myself for the entire month of February, because I don't do that nearly as much as I should. Like in real life, though, I really feel like I need a TV show because a lot happens in my in my real life, and I feel like it would be entertaining. Case in point, I talk about it on here. I'm like, oh, outsource, get people to come help you, yada, yada, yada. I was like, you know what? We've got to get somebody back in here to help me keep this house clean, because the people that live here, that's like beating a dead horse. They're not gonna clean to the level of clean that I need it to be for my own sanity. So let me get a housekeeper back in here, because as I shared last summer, our housekeeper decided she was closing up shop. She said she'd had enough, and you can't blame her. Never knock another woman's hustle. You want to retire or quit or whatever, girl, go get your best life. But where does that leave me? Because I need the help. I need it. I have 3 kids and 2 dogs and a husband. So I need the help. So I call. I was given a referral from a very trusted source, someone whose opinion I hold very high. She said, here, call this person. They will come help you. I love this person. They do a great job for me. I say, okay, I call. I schedule the estimate. The lady comes. She walks through my house. When we get back to the front door, I was sensing a little bit of hesitation on the part of the housekeeper. And I said, so like, girl, what's tea? Just tell me how much. Tell me when you can come. Hopefully you can come on a Monday, because that's when I'd love for you to come after my family has been home all weekend. And I'm ready. Like, put me down. What do I got to sign? Like, give me the rundown. That lady looked at me in my face and she said to me, this would be a lot of work. She said, you don't have carpet. You don't have a lot of carpet. So when I come to your house, I'm going to have to sweep and mop. I'm thinking to myself, yes, I know, because that is why I called you, because I don't have the time to sweep and mop as often as you probably think that I do. That's why I dialed your phone number. That's why I'm trying to give you this money, because I don't have the time. She said, I really don't know. This is how I knew I was never going to hear from this lady again. Then she asked me, what would I be willing to pay her to come? I said, ma'am, name your price. Name it. Name your price. Because the last lady that was over here helping me, I paid her $250 every 2 weeks, which I thought was very reasonable. I thought it was very reasonable. And if I needed extras, if I needed a deep clean, or, if things just got completely out of order, then I always threw a little something extra. She would tell me to throw something extra on there, and I would do it because I would understand. I'm a fair woman. So you just give me the number, ma'am. She said $300 every 2 weeks. I said, done and done. When would you like to begin? I would love for you to come on Monday, which would happen to be today. And I could still sense she was kind of like weighing it out, like she didn't know. And then she starts telling me about other people's houses that she's doing and where they are. And I'm thinking to myself, but what them people got to do with me over here with my 3 kids and my 2 dogs? Like, ma'am, I need the help. Because if you clean, then I can focus on laundry. And then it's like we're a team and we're getting this done. And I want to support your business. Like, I want to do it. So when she left out of my house without us agreeing to anything, without a definite yes or a definite no or whatever, I knew then that I would probably never hear from her again, because she said it was too much work. And it's not because my house is like in such, disarray. I think the lady was just like, who wants to sweep and mop this often, this much? And she looked at herself and said, not me. I won't be doing it. I don't care how much money you give me. But I texted her, like, when she left my house, I said, let me just shoot my shot one more time, because I liked her. I got good vibes. I liked her. Let me shoot my shot one more time. So I texted her and was like, hey, it's so lovely to meet you. That price works for me. That day works for me. You can just let me know what you'll charge to do the initial deep clean. Because I really do want my baseboards and my blinds done. And then, girl, like, we can go from there. Like, I would appreciate your help. And I've never been ghosted before, because ghosting is something that didn't start happening until I was already like married and all that stuff. So I don't know what it's like to be ghosted. I've never had someone just meet me and then just turn their back on me. But now I know what it feels like. I was turned down and it didn't feel good, which, because I am an Aquarius, though, I said to myself, well, Tia, your choice at this point, because now you've kind of gotten fed up with the whole housekeeping industry. Every time you get one, something happens. And she would have been like our 3rd or 4th person. So I'm like, every time you get one, something. So maybe it's just not meant to be. And by the time that lady ever calls you back, not only will your house be clean, but you'll be over it. The passion and the desire you have to even spend money on that will probably be gone by the time that lady reaches back out to you. So why don't you just pay yourself that money every 2 weeks and you just figure out a way to clean your own house? And by that, I mean making everyone else that lives here actually get involved at a level that is actually helping me. So, I don't know. We'll see that. I'll probably be fighting that fight all of 2024, to be honest. But, I talked to my mom about this, and she reminded me of a lot of good things. My mother always gives me so much clarity, and I'm just so, blessed to have her as my mom. But she was just like, Tia, back in the day, even when women were housewives, they still had housekeepers. She was like, it was never meant for one person to do all of the stuff. She was like, it just wasn't. She was like, you're not supposed to be responsible for doing so much. And she was like, and you do a lot. She was like, so don't make yourself feel bad about anything, because no one person was meant to do every single thing. Everybody at some level is supposed to have help. You're supposed to have some kind of help doing something at some point. So she was like, you just need to go ahead and let that go and just do the best you can and move on and keep your money. I said, yes, ma'am. And I got off the phone. I was like, my mama is right. So now, Miss Ma'am, you'll be hard pressed to get $1 out of me for doing anything. Because my mama said, I don't need to be worried about this no more. And she knows more than I do. So I just need to remind myself that the fact that I'm able to take care of 3 kids and 2 dogs every day and somehow still manage to take care of myself is quite the accomplishment. And if that means sometimes, I'm not able to mop as often as I would like to, then, oh well, we'll all survive. It'll be fine. I don't have little babies picking up stuff off the floor and putting things in their mouth anymore anyway. So it'll be all good. But also I think I'm going to look into buying one of those little circle robots that walk around your house and sweep or vacuum or mop on their own when they detect that your floor needs it. Probably going to look into one of those and get one of those, because that'll just give me peace of mind that at least the floors are getting something in between my all of my things that keep me too busy to do it, and which is probably an excuse, but it's okay to make excuses for things like that. It's not okay to make excuses for taking care of yourself, and that's how I draw lines in my life, girl. It might not work for everybody, but it works for me. So I think that's it. My goodness, it has to be it, because my children get out of school in 45 minutes. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Tia's Table. Remember, when you're out, compliment someone, say something nice to her, make her day, make her feel special, uplift her, be her support system. Never knock another woman's hustle. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you. And I want more for all of us in 2024. So do what it takes to reach your goals this year, ladies. This is the year that we are going to make it happen. Thank you for joining me. I will talk to you next time. Love you, girl. Bye.